Well, hello, it's Sol with another video, and today I wanted to comment and talk about what happened this weekend over Twitch and Twitter between two lovely gentlemen by the name of Asmongold and Taliesin of Taliesin and Asmongold. I don't know what to call it. Like, maybe I'll call it the Battle of the Beards, because, you know, they both have... Okay, that's probably not funny. I'm going to try to make that thumbnail anyway. It might be fun. But the drama between the two of them and how the respective fans have gotten into it has become like really, really emotional. It's been very back and forth and volatile and full of slinging crap, and the best way for me to describe my feelings towards all this is... What? On my more recent Friday and Saturday videos, my Warcraft weeklies, I've been doing a segment called the What of the Week, where I take ridiculous quotes and statements within the WoW community, and then I turn it into something that's a little bit more pressing that I'd rather talk about. But this particular thing's gotten so big that it just couldn't wait until Saturday, so here I go in an entirely separate thing. A separate video, yippee. So, this entire exchange between Taliesin and Asmongold and the fans and the people on the sidelines like me that are just kind of watching in from the outside, it defines drama fests and shit show and clusterfuck. I'm gonna cuss throughout this video and not gonna bleep either. Ooh. But at the center of the drama between the two of them and the fans is this question. How responsible should a content creator like a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, how responsible should they be when it comes to how their audience acts or conducts themselves? There's a lot to unpack and to even critique just with that question, let alone how it relates to entities like Asmongold and Taliesin. So it's going to be easy, and it's going to be easy to get lost in the fandom between these two characters. So I'm going to steer things back into focus wherever I can. To wind up my long-winded intro as usual, I'm going to preface this by reminding you all at home and elsewhere that while I'm just trying to share my thoughts and feelings here, I don't run a huge YouTube or a stream operation. I'm small, so I'm probably going to step on the hey, you have no idea what you're talking about, Soul. You know, I'm going to fall into that trap every now and then, so just, you know, bear with me. And, well, let's just get started. Asmongold has a regular kind of thing, a regular segment on his streams, there we go, where he watches other content and then does a statement-to-statement breakdown with reactions of varying degrees. It's a really popular format, and it works really well. It works really well with his audience. More often than not, it results in positive exposure for whoever it is that's watching, because using logic or math, showing footage or showing something to tens of thousands of people live is going to result in some percentage of them wanting to check out said person's YouTube channel or Twitch stream or forum or blog or whatever. But I did say more often than not. Sometimes Asmongold doesn't have a positive reaction to whatever he's watching, especially when it's a video that is meant to be a critique of the man himself. And really, who can blame anyone for wanting to defend their original points with their own responses and clarifications or rebuttals? Now we enter Taliesin, whose videos are sometimes watched by Asmongold during his streams, notably the weekly resets. On Taliesin's own Twitch channel, he went on a long thing, or rant, or whatever you want to call it, about Asmongold and the very subject of demonstrating responsibility over the actions of his followers. But he was trying to be more general about it too. It just happened to be that this really started focusing on Asmongold. Taliesin took the stance, or he took the perspective of the victim, I guess, because according to him, he's the subject of targeted insults by people who allegedly identify themselves as Asmongold followers or something like that. I'm sure he gets critiques from all over the place who don't identify themselves the same way, but it seems like that was the slant. So on, I think, Saturday or over the weekend, Asmongold watched this 30 or so minute conversation or rant. It was a rip from Taliesin's stream, and over the next 90 minutes or so, he set up his entire response, and that's when everything just went to shit. Let me circle back to Asmongold and his reaction segments, or the format. They're biased towards his opinion because Duh, that's like the whole point of the segment. It's getting the content creators' reactions. That's the entertainment value there. It gets especially interesting when there are opposing views, because then it turns into what sometimes is a really brutal one-way takedown. Because, I mean, come on, who does live discussion between two opposing people these days? It's 2019. That's not profitable, right? I'm kidding, sort of. Anyway, Asmongold's reactions are one thing. But thanks to his audience, those reactions are magnified many times over, whether it's positive or if it's negative. Now, it kind of sucks to call myself out here, but I had my own point-by-point breakdown done by Asmongold, I think a little bit over a year ago. And it was received very poorly, like he just dismantled me, and for good reason. I made a crap video, so I deserved the thrashing, and for those who agreed with him and left comments on that video that he reacted to, yeah, I deserved it. But I also got a healthy dose of really extreme stuff, really inappropriate, like go home queer or go home Muslim, or kill yourself, you know, that sort of thing. Just extreme people who say crap like this because freedom or something, I don't know. So that did suck, especially as a channel who's still trying to grow. But hey, you know what? That's what you get. That's what I get for trying to take a bite out of someone at the top, because sometimes you end up eating ass. So back to Taliesin. According to him, his videos, like the weekly resets, are seen on a somewhat regular basis by Asmongold. Someone correct me if I'm there. So Taliesin gets views from Asmongold's fans many times over, and sometimes the comments that come out of that are especially inflammatory, either to him personally or to his wife Evitel. And for the sake of just this subject, I'm going to presume that the statement is true, because come on, it's the internet. I'm pretty sure that to a certain degree it's true, unfortunately. And inflammatory contents, sexist stuff, like things that have nothing to do with the things that we're talking about, which is the World of Warcraft, as a reminder. Talking about things other than that, it just ain't right. So to summarize what we have so far, the main points that Taliesin made was that whenever Asmongold does reactions to his videos, it often results in these kinds of inflammatory or harassing comments, and that Asmongold, or at least channels of Asmongold's size, they should be held responsible for their viewers' actions, at least to some degree. In Asmongold's reaction and breakdown, he asserts that he's not responsible for the actions of his viewers, and that he himself does take steps to ban people that he identifies or that his mods identify as bad actors. And then he goes on to defend his reaction format, especially whenever he does reactions to people that criticize him. The fact that his followers are going to undoubtedly magnify his statements, possibly in a less than civil way, it doesn't mean that he can't defend himself. And that's another point that he's trying to make. I said earlier in the video, or I asked this question earlier in the video, how responsible should a content creator such as a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer be when it comes to how their audience acts? As another reminder, these are just opinions from the outside, from someone who doesn't share nearly the same size following as these two have. So if for some baffling reason Taliesin or Asmongold are putting this up on their Twitch channels and watching it, well, hi, hey, what's up? I guess. But it'd be cool to hear their thoughts anyway. The question that should be addressed before that, though, is if content creators are at all responsible for how their audience acts or reacts. And my opinion is, yeah, but it's a really, really low bar to hit. Like if Taliesin were to say on stream or in a video and direct all his people, hey everyone, go to Asmongold's channel whenever he's on and spam him with bald jokes, or call his girlfriend ugly, or talk about his family, or something, just something really stupid and nasty, then yeah, then you're literally inciting your followers to act like assholes. That's harassment, that's inciting, you know, bad shit. Like I said, it's a low bar. No one does that. And the way that I've observed it, at least, this is the foundation that Asmongold stands on, that he doesn't directly tell people, hey, go ahead and start shit. He's just plainly sharing his thoughts. That's it. And what his fans decide to do on their own to amplify that, that's entirely up to them, according to him. And I agree. Like, Who are we to tell our viewers, hey guys, I'm going to be doing this thing and I know I'm going to be roasting this person on my stream in front of your face, but don't watch their videos and don't leave a comment, especially if it's like a negative. Like, that's pretty dumb. But specific to this particular situation, if Taliesin really did have a problem with Asmongold's fans harassing him, or at the very least contaminating his comment feeds with less than kind comments, why not nip it in the bud instead and just quietly ask Asmongold directly? What if Taliesin were to send a DM somehow and be like, hey Zach, I love what you do, alright, but your followers, they're a bunch of shits, know what I mean? It's not you, it's them, even though they're like a part of you. But anyway, they tend to leave nasty comments, and you know what, they're only watching me through your channel, so it's not even contributing anything to my channel. So if you don't mind, can you stop like reacting to my videos on the stream? But yeah, I love you, bye. And hypothetically, Asmongold can be like, okay, and then he'll just move on to something else. That could have been it. I mean, that doesn't sound too unreasonable, does it? Because what if Asmongold were to say, hey, Taliesin, I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm gonna show your content on my stream, so neener. Like, that could be the basis for several things like copyright or harassment, although I admit, stop me there, I really don't know how that kind of stuff works. It's a really gray area. But regardless if there are legal things that one person can do to make another person stop showing off the content on their stream, I think that private conversations like this that are behind the curtain, behind the whole persona, those kinds of conversations are super important if you want to avoid a public spectacle on issues like these. Like, this drama could have been totally mitigated if this didn't get public, which, you know, it would mean that this weekend would have been much less exciting and people wouldn't be monetizing on the commentary. So how responsible should content creators be over their audience? This is Taliesin's original question that helped kick off this whole shit show. I already said that there's a minimum bar to meet, then that is plainly defined in like the YouTube and the Twitch and the whatever guidelines. You know, don't incite hate or harassment, that sort of thing. And yet, Asmongold's channel at least has a reputation. People say that there are a high number of fans among them who are motivated enough to go to some other creator's channel or Twitch and leave unkind comments, maybe harassment. From my limited observations, it seems like it's entirely because of his reaction pieces. Asmongold isn't wrong when he says that he has the right to defend and make counter statements to critics. In a tweet, he quoted himself about not punching up or down, he punches back. That's a cute quote. But what's actually happening when he does these sorts of reactions? What's actually happening when he defends himself? What I observe is that he directs his viewers to a single topic or video, brings this front and center right in front of your face, and then he feeds to his viewers his own personal thoughts and feelings, sometimes with a few quotable talking points. Now remember, these are your viewers, your fans, they're people who like you, so it's natural that among them, some of them are going to feel offended that their boy, their girl, is under attack, and they're going to defend them regardless of what we, the streamer, might be actually asking them to do. So if we were to use like analogies, Asmongold and these other big channels, they don't use fists because you can control the strength of the punch and who you hit. This is like, it's like a train. Once you get to a certain size, you become a train and you just can't stop that train once you direct it where to go. It would be a lot less dramatic or interesting or profitable, but Asmongold can just brush all of this off without a second thought. Like if someone was to say on his stream, hey Asmongold, someone's talking smack in a video, he could just be like, oh, that's cool, they're probably someone irrelevant anyway, and then just focus on what he wants to do without giving the critics their moment. The irony is not lost on me, but I guess that would be my critique for Asmongold in this situation. He can't control his viewers. He doesn't really have to. But obviously he can control the kind of content he puts out. Reactions to criticism about yourself in front of your fans are going to elicit some sort of emotional response. So if he stopped featuring these criticisms and reactions and just rose above it, would that be better? And I don't know, because I know that I'd have really mixed feelings if someone were talking smack about me. I just think that if Asmongold did brush it off like it was nothing and he just focused on like fan events and other cool shit, then it would speak to his character. His fans and viewers can pour their energy into something else. Not something more positive or negative or whatever, just something else. In hindsight, I feel that mistakes were made this weekend, or at least things could have been handled better. But unfortunately, all this stuff is spilling over to today, because all the smack talk, it's still going on as of me recording this thing. It's probably going to still keep going because it's hard to stop this train. And that leads me to my final reaction. What? Like, look at the footage behind me. This is supposed to be just the world of Warcraft, man. This is the video game. I should be talking about how there still isn't player housing, why I still have red aura, that sort of thing. But instead we're being distracted by stuff like this. I really don't know how I would react if I were in either of these people's situations, but at least right now, this sort of thing, this is what represents the WoW community. So react to that however you like, and stay breezy.